So, aloha everyone, and this video is for my 386 class. What I'm gonna show here is it's really basic. It's a really basic Excel trick. I've learned this through our class, Accounting 386 at Brigham Young University, Hawaii, and I've never really noticed or even really saw how useful the if function was, not until that I was having a hard time while I was working. So I was working at the accounts receivable department in my school, and we had to do this payroll deduction wherein students sign up for a payroll deduction basically, and they put in the starting pay period that they want a certain amount to be taken off from their paycheck to pay off their dues and fees in school. So basically, in one whole year, there are 26 pay periods, and we usually come out with problems because, especially now that the year is about to end, after the 26, we start back to 1. So to make you understand more of what I was trying to say, let's make a table right now. So basically we need the ID number of the student. So let's input that right over here. The ID number, the name, and we're gonna put the starting, let me see if we got the right spelling there, starting pay period, and we have the ending pay period. And this is the initial payment that they do, or the initial amount that is taken off from their paycheck every pay period. And we have the total payment. So we're just gonna make this look pretty. Let's have it wrap text. All of them right here. Actually, all of them, let's wrap them in. And put them in the center and middle. Okay. Bold it a little bit bigger. There you go. So it's much more clear. Let's make our screen a little bit bigger right there. And so, for example, we're gonna put ID number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The name of the student is Alex Wong. So let's just make this big in case we get a student with a long name. And let's say that Alex wanted to have a payroll deduction starting at the 24th pay period. So let's make this in the middle just so that it looks pretty. And the ending pay period is at, let's say, 26. So basically we are doing, so he's gonna have a certain amount taken off starting on his 24th pay period. So that's 24, 25, 26. So 3 pay periods or 3 paychecks. So his initial payment, let's say that he has a total due of $150. So he's going to pay $50 per paycheck. So sometimes there are times that the financial advisor, they put in the wrong amount on the initial payment or the total payment. So to save us some time and to make sure that everything is going well, we are going to put a check column, or a column wherein we could check if everything's fine or so. So what I want to do is I want to highlight this column just so that it's visible that it's just for checking. So let's name it pay period check. So let's put total pay period check and the pay period check balance. Okay, so we could actually use any kind of wordings you want, but I prefer to use those. Okay, so on our checking columns, we want to put in a formula that says that the initial payment that we have is corresponds to the amount of pay periods that the student is going to have this amount taken off from their paycheck. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a simple formula. So we'll have an equal sign. So we'll have ending pay period minus the starting pay period. So the thing is, we are going to take off $50 starting on the 24th paycheck. So we are doing 24, 25, 26 again. So basically, if we count it by hand, it would be 3 pay periods. But if we minus the ending pay period and the starting pay period, it would just come out to 2. So we're going to add 1. Oops, what did I do there? Okay, let's do that again. 6, 24 plus 1. And there, we have the 3 pay period. So now we're going to multiply it by the initial payment. So we have the 150. So the pay period check balance is just to check that the total payment and our total pay period checking column equals to 0. So I think it's better if we put this in dollar format. There you go. That looks good. So the problem that I have during on my last days of working is that in every year there's only 26 pay periods because we get paychecks every 2 weeks here in school. So what the problem that I encountered with is every time that so after the 26 pay period, we start off with the first pay period because we're doing the first pay period for the year 2017. So what usually happens is that, for example, let's have another student. So let's place, let's have our ID number is 98765. Okay, let's add one more number right over there. And let's name her Charlotte Smith. There you go. So Charlotte wanted to do a pay, she wanted to start on the 24th pay period. She wanted $50 off her account as well. And let's make this a dollar sign right there. But she needs to pay more. Let's say she owes $250 in school. So she needs how many? 5 pay periods. So she needs 24, 25, 26, 1, and 2. So she's going to end at the second pay period of 2017. So if we're going to copy down this formula right over here, it's going to show up a negative balance on our checking column, and of course when you deduct it, it's showing up to a big amount. So I had a after doing the practices with the speed trial and everything, and saw how powerful the if statement was, I was trying to do something, or I was trying to think of ways on how I could incorporate what I learned in school to my workplace. So what I did, I was experimenting and I was actually successful. It took me some time though, even though it's just a simple formula, but since I don't really think that fast, I guess, so it kind of took me a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an if statement right over here. So I'm going to put if the ending pay period is less than 26, which is the last pay period for a year, then the ending pay period plus 1, and we multiply it by the initial payment. There we go. If it's false, if the starting pay period is not less than 26, then we could put in this formula and we'll just close it, and there we go. So what happened there is that something went wrong with the formula that I placed earlier, and I eventually figured it out again. So what we're going to do is still the if function. So we're going to say if the starting pay period is less than or equal to 26, then we're going to add 26 minus the starting pay period plus the ending pay period plus 1. So we get the total amount of pay periods that they're wanna pay. And let's put a close parenthesis times the initial payment, and then close parenthesis right over there. And if it's false, then we just do our basic equation, which is the ending pay period minus the starting pay period plus 1, and then we multiply the initial payment, close parenthesis, and that should be done. So if we change this like to the 26 pay period, and so that's 26, 1, 2, it's going to be $150. So there you have it. So it's pretty easy, it's pretty quick, but it really helps us a lot, and it helps us save time. So that's all for today.